We know about Bitcoin, but what about the other altcoins that will do well next year? Joining me today to talk about the sphere of cryptocurrencies and what coins you should be watching for in 2021 is Bill Noble, Chief Technical Analyst at Token Metrics. This is a very interesting firm that uses AI and machine learning to predict prices for the cryptocurrencies. Bill, welcome to Kitco.
Hi, thanks for having me on the show.
So Bill, before we talk about altcoins, let's first revisit the price growth of Bitcoin this year and why you think it's justified. Skeptics of cryptocurrencies would say that this rally doesn't make any sense because inherently cryptocurrencies don't have any value. How would you respond to that?
Friends, crypto is here to stay. It's going to be an asset class that every financial advisor is going to tell you that you need to have 5% in. We're coming up on a possible commodity market super cycle because of inflation and money printing. And whether you like it or don't like it, you know deep in your heart that you, an investor, have to protect your purchasing power, right? And the only way to do that right now is precious metals and crypto.
Bill, we've heard similar arguments in 2017. Is Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies really going mainstream this time?
Yes, it is. It's going mainstream as a method of payment and as an investment. 2017 was a speculative mania driven by the newness and excitement of it all, right? This is driven by investment and people's need to maintain purchasing power, right? That's why PayPal is involved. If a gallon of milk or a grocery cart, price of groceries goes up 40%, how are you going to keep up with that? Your dollar or your euro doesn't go far enough. So you need a currency that can help keep up, and that's Bitcoin. As Bitcoin rises in your PayPal account, it gives you more purchasing power. So it's becoming a necessity, not just a speculative curiosity.
Wouldn't the counter argument, Bill, be that if everybody's crowding into the space, the retail investors and the big financial institutions, doesn't that mean the space is getting too crowded?
Well, that's one interpretation. The other way to look at it is compare it to equities, right? People have been pouring into equities, day traders, intelligent portfolios, assets under management in equities. Zoom has the same market cap as Exxon, So people have been pouring into equities for years and years. And I just don't subscribe to the fact that just because crypto has gone mainstream as an investing asset class for 3 months means it's going to peter out.
Yeah. Okay. Before we talk about the valuations of crypto and your forecasts, I like to just be a little more philosophical here, if I may. A lot of skeptics of cryptocurrencies would argue that, well, this is an asset that doesn't itself generate cash flow, doesn't pay any dividends. It's not based on any sort of productive capitalistic means. It's not a company that generates profits. It's not a good or a service. It's really just based on nothing. Can you retort to that?
Sure. Fiat currencies are made out of paper. All right. You believe that piece of paper can be exchanged for goods and services. Gold and silver are metals or rocks, depending on how complementary you want to be. People assign value to that metal. Crypto is simply computer code, a scarce version of computer code that people assign value to just like any other money. Now, crypto can generate a return through something called DeFi. There's a budding plumbing system for cryptocurrencies that give it interest rates. So you can earn interest on crypto. And that's helping enhance the value of crypto as a legitimate part of the foreign exchange market.
Okay. Let's talk about Token Metrics now. How do you make predictions? Very interesting. You integrate machine learning and AI with human analytics. How do you do that?
Humans start by identifying critical data points. So our new version that's coming out soon, our quant grade for various coins, will look at 54 different data points. We're trying to simulate what hedge funds do when they use quant investing tools. So the humans will identify the data points. The AI and the machine learning, our founder was from the IBM Watson Group. The machine learning identifies what matters most and helps people identify coins before they're moving or as they start moving. And these machine learning models, it literally is machine learning in that the ideas or the factors literally compete with each other, and the best ideas rise to the top. And that's what the client sees when we help them use these models to build portfolios. And then on the human side, I just provide guidance and analytics, which people are used to from the legacy world, where people will say, hey, what do you think of X coin, or what do you think of taking profits here, et cetera.
What were your models saying about Bitcoin earlier this year at the start of 2020?
Good question. So our models picked up once Black Thursday occurred and there was an absolute collapse. Our models went bullish probably between 6,000 and 4,000. And it scored Bitcoin the highest it had ever been. So our clients were able to pick up Bitcoin around between 6 and 4,000 and ride it all the way back up to 10. So that was probably our best early Bitcoin call.
What about the halvening that happened this year? Did your models say anything about that?
Our models didn't necessarily pick up on the halvening, although our models did pick up on the halving as it affected DeFi, right? In other words, when that Bitcoin event occurred, it actually triggered an altcoin event, which our models did pick up on, right? Some of our indices were up hundreds of percent with that rally in those small altcoins after the Bitcoin news came out.
Yeah. Okay. So what are your models saying right now about Bitcoin? We're reaching near $20,000. Price charts look similar to 2017. The concern is that it won't hold again, like it did in 2017. Touched 20,000, didn't sustain, went back down.
Our models for Bitcoin show it going sideways from here and perhaps rising in a more orderly fashion, again, like equities. Okay. We think the action is going to be in the alt space, starting with Ethereum on out.
Okay. All right. Do you have a price projection for Bitcoin over the next year? Because I've heard a lot of different projections, and I'm curious as to what you think based on your thesis that, Bitcoin is, if I understand correctly, kind of maturing into a more mainstream asset.
Yes, that is well said. Okay. We think Bitcoin can eventually rise to like 25K or 30K. In other words, it can make a new high. Everyone can get all excited. And then frequently, once that happens, it can settle into a range. Okay. And once it does that, it's going to allow all the coins below that to actually start catching up aggressively.
So that kind of mirrors what we see in, let's say, the NASDAQ stocks, where, the FANG stocks have more or less matured. Their growth has been eclipsed by smaller cap tech stocks. Is that a good enough comparison?
It's the best one, right? Bitcoin is, like your S&P or your FANG stocks. And then the future of tech in the altcoin space, the plumbing of the crypto interest rate system is not only, I believe, the best place for technology investing going forward, right? But it's actually the future of tech, period.
Okay. Let's talk about the altcoins then. What do you like? What do you think has the best investment potential in 2021?
Okay, two themes. The future of money. Okay. What are we going to replace the fiat currencies with? Litecoin. Okay. Bitcoin Cash. Dash, which was used in Venezuela in retail establishments. Okay. Zcash, which has a privacy function. Okay. Ripple. Okay. Ripple is a very fast network. It gets knocked around by crypto people. But if central banks are talking about issuing centralized digital currencies on the government side, Ripple, a centralized private sector coin, could do very well. So those are the big coins. Now, on the small coin front, one of the things we like most is REN. Okay. REN is a tollway between blockchains. So it can connect things like Dash, Zcash, and Bitcoin to the Ethereum blockchain. And it's also going to be like an airport shuttle between Ethereum and the next DeFi highway, which is Polkadot. All right. And then, of course, there's always the big one, Chainlink. Okay. Chainlink is, just like it said, it's going to be the new Cisco in that it's going to connect all the different blockchains together.
Can you pick one of these and maybe give a range of price forecasts that your models have been looking at?
Sure. So Ethereum can go back to its all-time high of 1,200 or 1,400 and go beyond that. Something like Dash could spike up, some say 90 to 200. And we believe REN can go from 30 cents to at least $1, possibly $3. Ripple is the same way, between $3 and $5. Chainlink could go from 15 to 30. Okay.
So you're talking about double to triple digit growth in the next 12 months for some of these smaller coins.
That's in the big coins. Very few people are talking about the big coins doing 2 and 3Xs. Okay. Our models and our portfolios think that that's possible, and my work confirms that.
That just sounds like, that sounds like smaller cap stocks in like the Russell 2000, for example, where there's potential for 2x growth, 3x growth, but what are the downside risks? How much money would you allocate to something like Ripple, Red?
Well, when it comes to a crypto portfolio, we like to have 10 coins with 10% in each coin, as just an example. I think the riskier the coin, like REN, if you want to be aggressive, you can take it up to 15 or 20%. Okay. But you're still going to be with your core holdings, right? Your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your Bitcoin Cash, and your Dash. And then you're going to keep a small portion of your portfolio for the speculative stuff.
Sure. What about these coins do you like from a technology perspective? What makes you think their growth is justified?
Okay. So in the example of REN, right, in the small coin, this idea of a tollway or an airport shuttle between all these different blockchains in the DeFi universe. Because think about it. All these institutions are going to chase Bitcoin and the bigger coins that I talked about for the future of money. All those coins are then going to go into the DeFi system to try to earn interest. And REN is an example of one of the ways that, all these coins will travel around. When it comes to something like Chainlink, it has an ardent following, right? And they are going to connect every big blockchain together, right? So it's like, the George Washington Bridge, the New Jersey Turnpike, the Garden State Parkway, and the Holland Tunnel all being connected together with one toll system. That's why we're looking at REN. Another one is Aave. Okay. That is straight up lending. Right? Lending for speculation, just like margin in stocks, right? How big is margin in the stock market? It's enormous. In crypto, it's only beginning.
Yeah. I wonder how many of these coins you think will eventually surpass Bitcoin in market capitalization, utilization, and size.
All right. I think Ethereum is the one that has the best shot to do that. Okay. Ethereum is something that developers are building on. I think it's something that the institutions are eventually going to have to be invested in along with Bitcoin, allowing for a massive surge in market cap, right? Ethereum, remember, is labeled by the SEC as not a security. So it has a safe sort of marketing angle from a regulatory point of view. And it's going to become like the integral component of the foreign exchange market, right? It'll be dollar, euro, yen, Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Okay. And finally, which of these coins do you think would have the best chance of being accepted as a universal form of payment along with fiat?
Well, I'm going to give you a surprise answer on that. I think Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash and Dash are 3 dark horses to be something to be accepted at a cash register. Bitcoin, I think, is going to be used to buy skyscrapers, cars, boats, and buildings, right? Because it's a game for bigger players. I think some of the faster blockchains, even Ripple, okay, will be used at cash registers. Again, Dash already being used in Venezuela.
Yeah. What are some of the criteria that must be evaluated before a coin can be picked as a form of payment by the average consumer? Maybe is price volatility something that needs to be considered?
Okay, well, that is a good question. Price volatility is a moderate concern. I would say less so now because some of these coins are just so undervalued that, some of them have got honestly nowhere to go but up. I think one of the primary things that merchants look at is speed that things travel on the blockchain. In the emerging market world, one thing can be how easy it is to mine it. That's probably less of a concern in the developed world. Speed is probably more important.
Okay. When you say that something is undervalued in the crypto space, I'm curious as to how you make that evaluation. It's different from a stock where you say, well, maybe the PE earning is low, or maybe the EV/EBITDA is low. What are some of the metrics you're looking at?
All right. In crypto, the way I would describe it is there's undervalued in equities and underappreciated in crypto, right? In other words, if something has been, traveling in a base for years and has sort of almost been, forgotten about, okay, those are the cryptos that I think have the most upside. In terms of what's undervalued or overvalued, I think you've got to look at market cap. In other words, if Bitcoin has this enormous market cap and something that can be used as payment is way far down the coin market cap list, okay, that coin market cap list is effectively the valuation tear sheet for crypto, right? I mean, REN is down at 50, Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum and Ripple are so far away from Bitcoin that the catch-up rally in those coins could be massive and take months or years.
Thanks very much, Bill. Appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching Kitco News. Stay tuned for more.